the wealthier neighborhoods are better, but I used to deliver to some of the public schools the supplies in Chicago, and the security guard used to come out so nobody steals our truck or anything off of our truck, and all of those schools were just, very, very dilapidated, and they weren't conducive to, the kids, learning anything. So, people need to go and join the school boards, and I really think, myself personally, the Department of Education in the United States needs to be dismantled because it's basically useless, and all these taxes for schools, people shouldn't be really saddled with them. The people that can afford to send their kids to school, they should actually pick up the tab, and the people that really can't afford to educate, don't have the big dollars, when there should be a till of taxes for school choice, because these unions for schools, it's nothing more than a huge babysitting center, because in the Chicagoland area here, very small percentages of the public schools are actually graduating anybody to a level where they can read or do mathematics. WD0FBE KD9SDX.
KD9SDX, WD0FBE. I agree. I agree with all of that. I mean, I'm a grandfather. My kids don't go to public school here in Independence anymore, but I still pay the school tax for everybody else's kids to go. Part of me says that's not right. Part of me says they need the money so they can teach other kids. When the grandkids come over here, they don't have Wi-Fi passwords, and we live in a dead zone for most of the cell towers, so the tablets usually get put away, and Grandpa doesn't pay for too many of the subscriptions. TV usually stays off when they're over here. There is one small blessing, and they're in a split-up family, which is really good, but they are the only two of all the kids that are 100% to each other. And a few months back, about a year ago now, they were talking about developing their own secret language so they could talk that nobody else would understand. And they were talking about this within earshot of me. And so I introduced them to Morse code and told them that you can use, you can blink your eyes, you can tap on a table, you can do any number of methods to communicate with this code, and nobody else in their family is going to know it. Grandpa will know it, so it's not 100% secret. It's one they can use when they're in trouble, and that others will know it. So we've been embarking on that path. It's been fun. They're actually eager to learn. My granddaughter, who is below the age of 10, is interested in learning how to get her license to talk on the radio like Grandpa does, and that really makes me proud to hear my granddaughter talk about that.
WD0FBE KD9SDX. Yeah, that's something that's very useful. There's a few things that I really like about that. When I was a teenager, I started out with CB, and then I was a novice back in the 70s, and then I let it go because life kind of took over where I needed to take care of people and work and everything like that. And then I got all my tickets in 21. There's a friend of mine down in Texas. He said, "You've been talking about this for too long," and then he just sent me the books. And during this COVID thing, where everybody was just freaked out and everything, he figured, you know what, I'll just sit down and study. And it was 2 months to get my second general, and then another 7 months, to get my extra. And then I still got my radios back from my novice days, a 950-watt CW transmitter and a helicopter receiver, and I still have mine with the crystal but I was about 13, 14 words a minute back then, and I really enjoyed it. I still have my QSL cards back from the day, but maybe one day I'll practice up a little bit, because I think it's probably a positive to know CW and do a little bit of that, in that code, because few people actually understand the code nowadays. But I like the idea of your grandkids making up a kind of a code. I think that's pretty interesting, and it goes right back to the history, which really helped us out in World War II. The enemy couldn't break the Navajo, code talker, because they were speaking their language, and their language wasn't really written anywhere, from what I understand. And they could speak freely over the radio, and our enemies would not understand it. But I'm really happy for you that your granddaughter at age 10 wants to learn how to do the radio, and she's actually got an excellent teacher. And when all the other communications actually go down, the radio will always be there. And the thing that I like about this too is I get to have two shows with a lot of interesting people, and I have an interesting story also. When I got my general, just before the first time I went to Lithuania, no, not the first time I went to Lithuania, I'm sorry. I was 18, 19, and 21. Before I went to Lithuania in 21, I spoke to a Lithuanian station, Lima Yankee 5 Alpha, Jonas. I don't know if you've ever had a QSO with him or not, but I broke out in Lithuania, and I was talking to him, and then I said, hey, in a week I'm going to Lithuania. So he gave me his phone number, and when I got over by my cousins over there, they called him up, and when we had time, we went to visit. I thought that was, a pretty cool, adventure over there. Actually, it's, close to 5,000 miles away from here, and I'm speaking with him, and then next thing you know, I'm sitting having a conversation at his QTH, WD0FPE, KD9SDX.
KD9SDX, WD0FPE. Yeah, and I do radio partly to honor my grandpa. He tried with me from a young age to get me involved and interested, but I never could master Morse code when I was younger, and I'm not saying I've mastered it yet, but I know a few letters now. I do it to honor him, and hopefully when they're older, they'll understand what honor is and do it to honor me. That'd be a nice thing. WD0FPE, KD9SDX.
WD0FPE, KD9SDX. No, I very much enjoy it, because you get to meet a lot of different interesting people, on the radio. And I've had those with people out in Europe and in New Zealand and in Australia, and there's different people that send you QSL cards and stuff like that. You reciprocate and that kind of thing, and you also get invited to be shown around different places, around the world, and got an invitation out in New Zealand. If me and my wife end up going down there, that they'll show us around New Zealand. And, you got to take advantage of this kind of thing, because you never know how long you're going to be around that.